Today's book is called Big Dog, Little Dog, and it was written by PD Eastman. And there's a bird sitting on the sign there that says PD Eastman wrote this book. Fred and Ted were friends. Fred was big, and Ted was little. And the bird's watching everything from the tree branch. When they walked in the rain, Fred was wet, and Ted was dry, because the umbrella was too short for Fred. When they painted the house, Fred used green paint, but Ted used red, because Ted liked red. One day, Fred and Ted went away in their cars, and Ted drove his red car fast, and Fred drove his green car slow. They came to a road sign, and they said, "Where should we go?" asked Fred. "To the mountains," said Ted. And you can see they had lots of choices there. I think the bird wants them to go to the mountains. When they got to the mountains, Ted skied all day long, and Fred skated all day long. By night, both of them were very, very sleepy. "Look," said Fred, "a small hotel." Fred's room was upstairs. Ted's room was downstairs. "Good night, Ted. Sleep well," said Fred. "Good night, Fred. Sleep well," said Ted. But they did not sleep well. Upstairs, Fred thumped and bumped and tossed and turned, because look, his bed is way too small. Downstairs, Ted moaned and groaned and crashed and thrashed all over the bed, because you can see his bed was way too big. The next morning, Fred said, "My bed is too little." "My bed is too big," said Ted. "Ah, there's the bird again. I know what to do," said the bird. "Ted should sleep upstairs, and Fred should sleep downstairs." "Back to bed," yelled Ted. "Back to bed," yelled Fred. Ted jumped into his little bed upstairs, and Fred jumped into his big bed downstairs. Ted slept all day long in the cozy little bed, and Fred slept all day long in the cozy big bed. "Well, that was easy to do," said the bird. "Big dogs need big beds. Little dogs need little beds. Why make big problems out of little problems?" So that's a good indicator that even if you're very different, you can get along and be friends, and you can accommodate each other's needs. That's the end. Good night, Fred and Ted.